Hello, this is Tierra del Fuego, final test video. If you wish to not hear the narrative, please see Tierra del Fuego final test vid, no talking. Hello coaster fans, Steel Wheels 33 here with the full version video for Tierra del Fuego. So this is the full circuit run with the station. Really excited about it. The coaster's running well, everything's working good, so I'm sure you'll like it. And I want to just kind of take a moment here to talk about the life of what's now become Tierra del Fuego. So, obviously, as usual, if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And let's start off by talking about when this started. So it started this back in January of 2021. And so, actually, I think it was even December of 2020. You might say, well, that's a long time. You know, what's taken so long? Why has this project taken so long to come about? Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about that here today. So, first of all, let's talk about the pieces involved in building this coaster. So, approximately 25,000 parts or individual Knex make up this coaster. I don't have an exact count. An approximate cost of $1,900 given the purchases that I made on mostly eBay. Big shout out to some of the sellers on eBay that I purchased from. A couple to name would be Tony and Debbie from For Kids of All Ages, as well as the Minnesota Toy Shop and the North Carolina Toy Shop. So thank you very much if I purchased from you. Very much appreciated. So what was the vision for this coaster? How did this coaster come into inception, right? I'm going to talk a little bit about that right now. So my initial inspiration for this ride was to come up with a looper, a custom Knex looper that was in the Eurofighter style that had about 6 to 7 inversions that was really simply driven by gravity. If you recall, and if you subscribe to a previous channel of mine, JTF333 is God. It's a prior channel, YouTube channel of mine. There's a coaster called Lengua del Diablo. Translation means tongue of the devil, or devil's tongue, that I made out of Knex. That's a very large looper with a past 90 inversion, but it does have features a mid-course booster. So it actually launches the ride halfway through so that I could get more out of it. So what I was going for this time was something that was really kind of, not cheating, so to speak, but got through the full ride just by itself off the first drop. Hey, this is me from 2 days in the future, man, and I'm editing the video for its release right now, and you totally forgot to tell them about the automatic station idea and being like the main vision for the coaster. Don't worry about it, it's okay. I'll just have me from 3 days ago just go ahead and get them caught up to speed. So let's talk a little bit about the vision for the ride, right? So what was the point of this? Well, so essentially what I wanted was a ride that was a looper, custom looper, Eurofighter style with an automatic station. So that was my big focal point for the ride itself, was just having that automated station element so that you simulated, that pause where the riders would be unloading from the coach and then getting on the ride. And so this is easily achieved through PLCs like Arduino systems, for example, which I'm not really all that great and savvy with. So what I decided to opt for was a completely mechanical system. And so one of the, to just call him out, Chaos on SS Coasters, you may be familiar with Chaos. He's pretty well known in the Knex coaster community. He actually commented that the station resembled a mini Ruth Goldberg machine, which is exactly what I was going for, right? It's just that, one thing leads to another, which leads to another, and then the train comes out of the station. It's really operating very reliably, which I love, and it just adds a great, element of realism to the ride. So very happy with that. I also wanted something that was a little bit short, like less than 5'5", because I only have limited space in my basement to work on these projects. So the actual height of the coaster is 5'4", so it actually is kind of short for what you might consider a large coaster. That being said, what are some of the challenges that I faced? So I think I can sum it up with speed loss. Okay, and so really what it comes down to is we're only using 2 cars or 2 cars to the coach, which I think doesn't give you as much of the conservation of momentum as you would want. Also, it's a tube supported coaster, so it's a little bit more difficult to support with tubes, so I had to really beef it up as I built it. Also, there's been a huge problem with dust. So since I am building in my basement, and dust is a thing in a basement, because it's taken, you can only imagine, because it's taken since January to build this, that here we are in September, there's a lot of dust. I actually vacuumed out a whole bunch of dust from the ride using a air compressor and a vacuum just a couple days ago. And because of the nature of the frame, it takes a lot of pieces and it collects a lot of dust. And so I actually misjudged just how many parts I would need by a great deal. I had to keep ordering more and more blue connectors, more and more silver connectors, 3Ds, just to get the base done before I could even move forward with the ride. So that actually stalled the ride progress as well. But not only did that happen as a result of this box structure, which is a very rigid base, it takes tons of parts, and it takes a lot of time and planning, but it also collects a lot of dust. So that's been a challenge. The other challenge and the final challenge that I'll highlight is heat. So after building several of these Knex coasters in several different rooms, houses, conditions, I've come to the realization that heat does play a big part in just how much speed you're going to lose with your ride. And I'm using Johnny's bearings, and honestly it doesn't really matter whether you use Johnny's bearings or whether you're using the traditional legacy bearings that come with the ride and wheels that come with the ride. You're still going to get speed loss because of heat, simply because the track heats up and there's a higher coefficient of friction. So it is what it is. There's no way around it. So what was the result of these challenges? Well, we still ended up with 6 inversions. Just a couple of lifts to assist the train to get back into the station. But we do have the Immelman, then the Sea Serpent, which counts as 2 inversions. You then have a dive loop and a corkscrew and a heartline roll. So total 6 inversions, 4 blocks in the ride total, and again 2 of those being like a lift type of assistance to get the train back in. I hope you enjoyed this final test video. There'll be a really nice final video to come, something that hasn't been featured yet, but I'm planning on doing a nice realistic entrance or walkway into the ride and a ramp and all that realistic station. So until next time, Steel Wheels signing off. people waiting in line for Tierra del Fuego, waiting in line for this amazing ride. Now that the station is complete and they have a place to wait. Magnificent.